It's really weird. We've had some weird problems here tonight. Okay, now we're streaming again on YouTube. I don't know why we weren't, but we weren't. Okay. Next. Okay. There's a new George Clooney producer producing this next documentary about sexual abuse scandal of the Ohio State Athletic Department. Man, there's just like, does this go on everywhere? I mean, I can't even understand. Huh. So
In
this,
Ohio, they just sentenced a male teacher, that had sex with a female teen.
jeez. Well, didn't you guys have that? Who was it? He was after boys though. The one guy that. No, that was that. No, that was Penn State. That was Penn State.
Sandusky.
Yeah. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I guess we probably won't. Chances are he's done for now.
No, he's a
Yeah, he should be too.
He'll get out in the medical.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was really sick, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, this one here is about a sexual abuse scandal at Ohio State University Athletic Department, and it has a premiere date. The premiere outlet will debut Surviving Ohio State, which counts George Clooney among its producers, on June 17th. It will also stream on Max. The film features several survivors of abuse at the hands of Dr. Richard Strauss, an athletic. I remember. Wait a minute. I do remember about this because wasn't he also doing Olympic stuff or?
If it's not him, it's somebody else.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Well, let's see here. Well, it doesn't really. It's in several. Okay, it doesn't really say anything about. It's probably not him. It's probably not the same guy. But it says here, detailed allegations against Strauss, including those by All-American wrestler and UFC champion Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman. I can't imagine anybody sexually abusing him because he's a beast. Wow, that's just interesting. I didn't know anything about that. Interesting. So that's coming your way.
Why do they think they're going to get away with it? That's what I'm understanding.
Why, and why would you do that? I mean, I understand predators are predators, but you know, not that I want to tell them how to do their.
Predators can't control themselves, like they can't control themselves.
I guess. I just think it's weird to think about that kind of stuff.
But why do they think they can get away with it and they're not going to get caught?
Right.
That's the delusion.
Yeah. That's really strange. I don't know.
All it takes is one person to come out.
Yeah.
And the rest will follow.
Well, in this day and age, well, that wasn't in this day and age, though, but in this day and age, you got to be with the things with Harvey Weinstein and all that other stuff, and Bill Cosby and all that. I wouldn't touch another person. I don't even want to touch a guy just because you don't want to touch anybody because they can make sexual allegations then, you know. But I guess people like that don't really care. That's a weird thing. Then there's a review, Predator, Killer of Killers, a Predator's universe. This says, if I can get the article to open up.
He fights three warriors from three different eras: a Viking.
Oh, you know about this?
A ninja. I used to watch the Predator movie.
Okay.
And what's the third one?
I don't know. I didn't.
Anyhow, it's gory, very gory.
Okay. What do you want?
There's a lot of blood and guts.
Got a dog here that's going to start harassing me now that he came downstairs. So I'm going to give him something to occupy his time. This dog is a trip. Anyway, so yeah, it says it's an inventive spin on a durable franchise. And it says a Viking, a ninja, and a World War II pilot. Yeah, I didn't know that. I would be interested in seeing that. I mean, he should beat all of those. A Viking warrior, that's no big deal. Japanese ninja, all you do is shoot him. The World War II fighter, I would think that if he got to this universe, he probably has high-tech equipment. So yeah, I wouldn't bet on the other people. Now, if they came in today's, there's weapons that we could possibly beat them with, but you know, I don't know.
I liked them before they went gore.
Yeah.
And they were suspenseful and
yes,
frightening, but there wasn't a lot of gore. Now they moved into the gore, and I've lost interest.
I liked it when Jesse Ventura was one of the guys.
Yes.
I ain't got time to bleed. That's my favorite line of his. Then we've got David Beckham. Hear about him?
No.
David, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. David Beckham is to be knighted by King Charles this week. That's pretty cool, I guess. It's not something I need. I mean, I don't need that in my life, but, it'd be kind of cool if I was knighted. They should knight Batman. Then it could be the real Dark Knight. There he is. Charles don't look too good. He doesn't have cancer or something?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But,
Sonny boy, Prince William, is just waiting in the wings.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. He was, and this guy, you have to feel a little bit sorry for him because
he waited all those years.
Would you please die so I can be king? And then he'll only have a couple years, and then boom. I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing, but is he on any of our lists?
Yeah, I believe so.
Is he? Okay. I didn't remember because I remembered you had some unique people on there that I didn't even think of. So.
I got the Pope. I'm in the lead.
Yeah. I'd be embarrassed if I got the Pope. I think you should be embarrassed. Okay.
I know where he's going when he dies, so
yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I've been scammed twice in 1 month, so you'll appreciate this. But I got to tell you, I did not make any of this up that I'm going to show you on here. This is going to be a Facebook message that I posted, and it's from an email. And I'm sorry if anybody gets offended. That's all I'm going to tell you. I didn't do this. I didn't do this to offend people. But I did this because I thought it was kind of funny. Funny in some ways. And I'll explain it as soon as you see it. As soon as it comes up. It doesn't seem to be coming up. Okay, here we go. This is a real email I got. True to life. This actually is an email. Okay. There we go. I did not alter anything on this email.
Oh, goodness.
Now, I want you to know that I had no idea what this email was.
How could you?
It doesn't. It's like, so I thought, okay, so I couldn't understand what they were trying to scam. I mean, because it was just so bad. It was just the worst email ever. So I did a little research, and I figured this is a good spot for ChatGTP, right? So we did a ChatGTP. I thought I had it saved. It looks like I didn't save it. I actually did the work ahead of time, but looks like I didn't cut and paste it. I wanted to do that. Um, but I did actually research ChatGTP on this because I didn't know what to think of it. Now the problem is that I've never done ChatGTP on this computer, so I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. So the thing that was interesting was I said, what, who, where do you think this came from? Was basically what I did. You know, is it? Do you have any idea from the spellings and the stuff like that? And they actually did come up with an answer for this. So we're going to bring it in here. I really wanted to have to skip this. I thought I was going to copy this stuff in. It kind of irritates me I didn't. Come on. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do the crazy stuff. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to, come on, where's my stuff? Where's all my chats? Oh, here we go. Had to be one of the recent ones. Probably on the top here. Might be in here. There's a relatively, I don't put my chats in the order that I should. I should separate them more, but I don't. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. That's where I'm talking about suing. Well, it might be in here though. I should do this for next week. That way you know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's George Wendt. It's not it.
Okay. Yeah, the thing with ChatGPT is if you have more than one string,
yeah,
it doesn't differentiate the string.
That's correct. And unfortunately, I didn't separate them because you can separate it by new chat, and I didn't do that, and I should have done that. And now I'm looking really foolish because I can't find it.
Just do it for next week.
Yeah, I'll do it for next week. Yeah, because that to me was just
I'm very interested in what ChatGPT had to say because that was the worst email I ever saw.
Yeah, it was. I mean, how could you actually send that out and think somebody wouldn't know it was a scam? I saw that and I said, okay, that's really weird. And the fact that it said what it said was just unbelievable. But it was so bad. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. So I said, all right. I said, I received this from a scammer today. Can you help me determine what they are saying and what country it may be from? And I posted that in there. And it said, yes, that message is 100% phishing scam and is trying to trick you into clicking a fake view account summary. Similar. Here's a breakdown of what it's saying and clues where it may have come from. So it said, despite the garbled, misspelled words, it's trying to say something like this. Your monthly account is now available through your online account portal. Please log in to view your account details. Please take a moment to review your account information for accuracy. Our team is here to assist you if you have any questions. View account summary. You're receiving this message as part of your account service. This message was automatically for account assistance. Please contact our support team through our website. Now that couldn't be further from what we see. That couldn't be further than that. That says nothing like that at all. They were really far off the point of that. So the red flags. It says red flags, poor spelling, grammar. It says major red flag. Legit companies don't send emails like this. No kidding. Generic language, no company name, no specific account reference. Pressure to click a link without context or verification. Mobile, PP, web byte, and support contact you, words chipped off or misspelled. Service communicatio is meant to be communications, but again misspelled. No sender address shown. And a weird domain like 163.com, and mail.ru. That RU is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is Russian. Where it's from, Nigeria or West Africa, which often uses English with similar formatting errors. European or Asia, such as Russia, China, or India, especially if it's spoofed its domains like RUCN or Free Mail Services. The broken English suggests it's not native English speaker. It was likely machine generated or poorly translated. And then it says what you should do and blah blah blah. But it says scam alert. So it's red flags, tons of misspellings. No mention of. Oh, okay, that's just repeating what it was saying. So it made me this so that I could put out a post about this actual thing. But I don't think there would be anyone that stupid that would actually click that. Well, I mean, I guess it's possible.
Look at the warning labels they have to put on everything.
This is true. I found that really interesting. I should probably leave that up as our thing of the day. But yeah, I found that really, really interesting. And ChatGTP is so good at everything I've had to do so far. Some of the things that I wrote for Xfinity and for the Better Business Bureau and stuff about my case. I said, could you write this as if I'm very angry, which I am, and make sure that they understand that I'm very stern and very upset about this. And it did. It really took my words and turned them into what could be a pretty good email. So I found that interesting, though. It was especially that email because it was so bad. it was one of the worst bad ones. I mean, I've seen them before where they look really legit, but that one does not look legit at all. So
you get the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
I get that all the time. I get it a couple times. And one time I called the Turnpike and said, "Is this real?" And they said, "No, it's not." And and apparently there's ones on police supposedly moving in on you because
speed traps.
Mm-hmm. I did get one from a speed trap though, and it was a legit speed trap. I didn't get charged for it, but they mailed it to me. It was a real legit one. They said your fine is $0, but don't let it happen again. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they showed me a picture of my car with my license plate, and I knew it was them. But I saw a video on YouTube that said about how they get so much information from you. And of course, you've been broken into on your Facebook before, and you used Facebook as an example. So you get a text from somebody you don't know, and they say, "Hey, I haven't talked to you for a long time," hoping you'll answer. And as you answer, you could say, "Oh, I don't know you. Who are you?" And they ask you who are you? And then they press you for questions. They get your first name. They got your phone number, obviously. Then they can use Facebook and use the phone number to find you. Now they have your first name and last name, and maybe where you worked, and maybe your real email. And then they start out of that Facebook. The guy had 28 points of things that he found from this person. And that kind of scared me a little bit. I don't want people finding me that easily. So, yeah. Okay, we're gonna play a game. It's called Dear Doug. I think we played this one time before. It's Dear Abby, but you're gonna answer what you would do, and then we're going to do something else that has to do with that. So first, Dear Abby. Okay, open up. Come on. I need you to open that up. Come on, open up. Okay. Here's the Dear Abby. There's a method to my madness, by the way. Dear Abby, I took care of my late wife, but now my in. So the story is, did I hear? I don't know if that's really him. Dear Abby, I lost my wife of 20 years 4 months ago after a prolonged illness. I retired at 62, became her primary caretaker. The job of caretaker is endless and stressful and yet rewarding. A female friend of mine of many years, Dinah, came to the memorial. I grieved, attended Grief Share, read articles about grief. I experience grief every day and will for the rest of my life. I can relate to that because that's the way I felt also. Recently, Dinah and I began spending time together, including worship. For clarification, we have never been intimate and won't until our wedding night, if that ever happens. The difficulty of how my late wife's family have reacted, they are becoming more and more distant. I don't feel I'm doing anything wrong. Others said you should wait for at least a year. My financial planner and I spoke about not making any financial decisions for a while. But what is this 1 year thing? Ready in Tennessee. Okay. What's your answer?
In the rooms, in sobriety rooms, they have a kind of a rule of thumb that you don't get involved with someone of the opposite sex or same sex. Doesn't matter. But someone from the opposite sex romantically for 1 year.
Okay.
And that's because you're in a fog, you're not
Yes.
thinking clearly.
Yes.
It's not a good time for a relationship. You need to work on yourself.
Okay. I agree with I agree with everything you've said so far.
Okay. 2 old people is the way you should be in a relationship.
Yes.
4 months after a death, you're probably not right. You're still not right.
Correct.
It takes a lot longer than 4 months.
I will tell you that it took me 8 years. I didn't want any
companionship.
I wanted companionship with anybody, just to go to the movies, just to go out and eat, just to feel like I still was alive. And I went out on a couple dates just to get out and do something because I felt so lost and like I felt worthless at that point and didn't really know if I had any value, and I didn't think I had anything to give anybody at this point. But let's see what she says. Okay, we'll see what she says. She says the 1 year thing is the same as the suggestion your financial planner offered. The reasoning is that after one loses a spouse, the widower is often emotionally vulnerable. Out of loneliness, some have made hasty decisions in their romantic lives that they later regret. While it isn't wrong that you are dating, your former in-laws may be upset with you that you started so soon after your wife's death and regard it as disrespectful to her memory. What they have not taken into account is that your grieving started while you were taking care of your wife rather than after her death. That was true with me as well. Now,
when my father died, at the funeral, my family, my mom, my sister, and I had some of the funny things about his life.
Okay.
Because all of us had said goodbye.
Now, did your dad die instantly, or did he die over a period of time?
Over 9 months of degenerating degradation due to cancer.
Okay, because I knew you then, but I didn't know your situation. We weren't that close in that situation. I didn't know anything about you personally.
I quit my job, and I took care of him. I was his nursemaid for 9 months.
Okay. And what period of time was that?
I was about in my early 20s. He died when I was 26.
Okay.
So I was 25.
My dad.
By the time we started to get to know each other.
Yeah, my dad died when I was 25. So he died at twice my age, which is as my uncles and aunts all were dying at 50-ish. I was thinking when I got 50, I was thinking, oh man, I'm next. Now that I'm where I am, I don't care. I don't count the days anymore. But it's weird because up to 50, I was worried that I was going to die. And so worried. It was stupid that I was that worried about it. And it was because it's not something I could have changed. Well, I could have by changing my eating habits and lifestyle and stuff like that. Okay, so part two. I shouldn't do this, but this is so stupid. I mean, I'm so stupid sometimes. So part two of that is, oh, come on, you open quicker, then we could have our show work better. Come on, open up. Will it answer or not? Oh, here we go. Here's part two. I found him a date. All right, come on, open up. Come on. Here we go. Said reason a 31-year-old woman has never had a boyfriend. I thought, here we go. A match made in heaven. This 31-year-old and this 62-year-old. Oh, okay, it's not funny. I thought it was funny.
It's funny.
My life has always been marked by a strange duality. When I was dukes of my high school. I don't even know what that means. Ducks. I had no best friend to trade secrets with and friendship bracelets with. I graduated with a double degree. I couldn't make eye contact with guys. Now let me show you this woman. I would have done her. I would have changed friendship bracelets with her. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought it was funny because the next article that I saw was about this woman who had nobody to date. I was thinking, well, let's make them up. Let's give them both a surprise. Let's put them together. So, anyway, that's the end of my entertainment stuff. We can either do the Chosen or the other one.
Let's do Skid Row first.
All right, Skid Row first. It will be. We're going to do a Breaking the Band episode, and this week will be Skid Row. Which were you a fan of them?
No.
I was. I liked the band a little bit. I didn't really. I was jealous of their singer. But I really, I mean, I was like in the whole grand scheme of things, I was a Bon Jovi fan. And I thought it was really cool, the story that happened with that, because, very few times do you have people actually do what they say they're going to do. In that, they were talking about, with Skid Row being best friends. Well, let me get that up here so that I can talk about.
That was Rachel, right? It was Rachel.
What a weird name. Who would name their son Rachel?
Rachel.
That was really sad. I mean, I'm sorry, but I would never do that.
Today it was a different connotation, but back then they weren't trying to make him out to be a girl.
Well, what do you think they did it for?
I have no idea.
I would.
But today, I could see them changing his name to Rachel if he wanted to identify as a female.
Well, yeah, that I could understand. But when I saw that, I was like, oh.
He wasn't trying to identify as a female.
No, not at all. And I thought, man, if my parents did that to me, I'd probably be thrown in jail for killing them. So anyway, this is the band we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Skid Row. It's an American band, rock band. They were actually from New Jersey, which is right around the corner. The current lineup, apparently they're still around.
They are still.
But how many of them are original? Actually, the current lineup has the same has three members of the original band, I think. If I'm not mistaken, let me see here. Well, it doesn't say who. Yeah. Because I think Dave Sabo was the friend. He was the friend of Bon Jovi's. Rachel, Dave Sabo is the guitarist. Rachel is the bass player, right? Yeah. And
they were the primary songwriter.
Yes. And Scotty Hill, he was a guitarist. And I don't know if he was one of the original guitarists, but let me see here. Yeah. So we'll start out with let's go to the very beginning. The beginning, because this band I didn't follow because they were during '86. I was in Mike Trench and the Barking Rats, and I had just gotten my voice back after I had the lung surgery and stuff. So I wasn't really concentrating on anything except my voice at that point. But they were born in they were started in '86. Rachel, Dave Sabo, recruited guitarist Scott Hill, who are all three still members. Drummer Rob Afuso through newspaper ads, and lead vocalist Sebastian Bach. Now, I found it interesting how they got Bach in that band, because he was not an original member of that band, and he got hired because of their manager. But if you go back further and talk...
It's the resident, the in-laws.
Yeah.
Saul Sebastian, he was 18 years old,
yeah.
singer in some other group.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
and
this is the voice you want.
Yeah, and he has a great voice. There's no doubt about that. If I had a voice like that, I would have gone and done probably everything he did too. Because yeah. So this band put together. Now, apparently, Bon Jovi and Sabo were lifelong friends, and I don't know if they still are, but they both made a pact. Whoever makes it big first helps the other one make it. And I'll bet you Bon Jovi regretted that.
Yeah, you know what he did?
Huh.
He's got production rights.
Yes. And yes, they get like, what was it?
He got most of the money.
Yeah.
For their top selling album.
Yep. And that's one thing that when I brought my album to the table, one of the things that my producer did was he said, how do you want to do this with this money? Because he produced the album, so he deserves some money for this album other than what we paid him. And we split it equal with him.
33%.
Yeah. Because, he did a lot of work on that album. He deserved that. He made that album. The album, when we went in there, we thought we're going to win this out. We're going to win the studio. It's going to be in and out because Ken has everything pre-programmed. All we got to do is do the vocals and we're done. No, we did the album completely from the bottom on up. And I'm glad we did, because I will tell you right now, if we had done what we thought we were going to do, the music doesn't sound at all like it did. It sounds so much better than it did when we went into the studio. Our producer, I'm a true believer that production is half the battle, because that producer knows how to strip that song down and make it better than it was. And he did that with every song. And it taught us, we spent a little bit of money on that production, and we spent about 10 grand on that production, which by today's standards is nothing. But
there was a lot to you.
To me, it was $10,000 of school. I learned a lot. I learned so much. So I truly am glad we went that route. So he was worth every penny. However, I don't think he made a whole lot off of us anyway, because we made money the first couple of years, but we didn't really, we unfortunately didn't make money. But he will make money in if my Vital Idol project or my Flock project come together, because we're going to use our music in those songs. I'm going to use our music in those TV shows. So, and I also pitched. I pitched the Flock today to one of the people that's interested in the project. So we'll see what happens. I am excited about it. I mean, I got to get him the information and stuff, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, back to them. So,
but I think Bon Jovi got more than 33%.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he got. If I remember, he got 75%, and they got 25 or something like that. So they got this band together who was playing well together without Sebastian. Then
but they wanted a frontman.
They needed a frontman, and this guy is a frontman. but he's
Oh,
dangerous,
he's a dangerous brother.
and he even admits it. And some of the stuff he did was just unbelievably crazy. Um, they should have hired me. I was available. They could have picked me up. I would have taken him to the top with a great front man. Not a controversial. Well, I could have been controversial, but at 18, he had those good vocals, and he ended up joining the band. Sabo and Bon Jovi were teenage friends, and Sabo was briefly a member of the band of the what you call it band of Bon Jovi. So yeah, that was interesting that they followed through and actually did try to take care of them. So it says here, where's it at? In front man. Okay, so I'm looking for, here we go, history. There we go. Skid Row was formed in 1986, Toms River, New Jersey. Bassist Rachel Bolan, guitarist Dave Sabo, and then Scotty Hill and Rob Afuzzo. They got those two. They got Scotty Hill and Rob Afuzzo through newspaper ads. Who does newspaper ads anymore? Everything's social media. That was social media back then. And then it says here, lead vocalist Sebastian Bach replaced Matt Fallon after the band spotted Bach singing at rock photographer Mark Weiss's wedding at the age of 18. The members asked him to join in early 87. Bolan claimed in a 2020 interview that before settling with Bach on the vocals, the then future Motley Crue singer John Corabi auditioned for Skid Row. The band began playing shows in clubs throughout the eastern United States. Then it says Sabo and John Bon Jovi were teenage friends, and Sabo was briefly a member of Bon Jovi before being replaced by Richie Sambora. Sabo and Bon Jovi agreed that if one of them made it in the music business, he would help the other out. Bon Jovi's manager, Doc McGhee. Now, Doc McGhee is a legendary manager. He's been around the block more times than I could tell you. That guy was also known for drug dealing. And he had gotten in some trouble. And later on in this story, I don't think they talked about it on the Breaking the Band, but he had gotten in trouble, and they had problems when they toured. I think it was Russia. I want to say it was Russia. So Doc McGhee, I don't know if he's ever changed his ways, but he was known for being shady, I guess is the best way I could say. I know that because of the business. I would gladly had him sign my checks though, because he had a lot of push, a lot of ways to get people. Oh, here it is. Here's the nail. Here's says here. I knew it was a story that was. It says the band's debut was Skid Row, released in '89, was an instant success. The radio went 5x platinum on the three singles, Youth Gone Wild, 18 in Life, and I Remember You, the latter two becoming top 10 hits. Skid Row was supposed to be supported the album by opening for Bon Jovi on their New Jersey tour. And unfortunately, they were not. Sebastian Bach was not very smart about some of his choices. Getting into a fight with John Bon Jovi was probably the stupidest thing he could have
done. Bon Jovi,
yeah. Well, not only that, but do you hit the person that's feeding you? I think I would not. Problem is, they ran into Sebastian Bach ran into something that all or most singers run into, and that's ego. You got to feed the ego, and even in my situation, as low as I was, as low on that totem pole as I was, I still got into that when I was younger. I got that ego thing, and I don't know why I had it, but I had that ego thing, and I don't know, it was we are frozen up in. I just noticed we're frozen up in the one chat. I wonder if we're frozen. Okay, we're only frozen in one of them. So what's going on up there? I'm gonna get out and get back in because I think live it's probably okay. No, it's not. Huh? But on mine, what's going on here? Yeah, cool. Bye bye trees. Okay, so we didn't ever get an update on that. Okay, let me reset this one here. We can continue in a second. Just I want to know why it's right on my page but not on the live page. Okay, now it's right. Okay. The things I gotta do. So I was frozen in that, and so are you. We're not frozen anymore. So apparently it's still recording. We just frozen in the chat room of my chat room, but the rest of the chat rooms were okay. Anyway, so okay, so they were supposed to be they were opening supposed to be opening for Bon Jovi after 6-month tour. As part of the 6-month tour, Skid Row played its first UK gig supporting Bon Jovi's outdoor show on August 19th, 89. The next day, Skid Row played a successful club at London's Marquee Club, and Skid Row took part in the Moscow Music Peace Festival, which was set up to keep Doc McGhee out of jail. McGhee was facing drug trafficking charges and therefore set up an anti-drug and peace concert in Russia featuring a few of the artists that he and his brother managed. So that's what I was talking about, where McGhee was in trouble for drug trafficking, because he did do drug trafficking. And I don't know how many people knew that part of the story, but that's kind of important to know that your manager has a chance of going to jail for trafficking drugs. So anyway, okay, so while they were touring in '89 with Mr. Big, which was really weird to think that Skid Row would be touring with Mr. Big, because Mr. Big was very poppy, if I remember correctly. It says here, it followed a UK headlining tour culminating in a show with the Hammersmith Odeon, with Vane supporting. And Vane was another band that I think was not a really heavy band. So it's kind of weird that they were touring with these really poppy bands. Anyway, then they had a tour with Aerosmith, and that's where they started getting in trouble. The Aerosmith tour, it's referred to as the bottle incident. And that's the incident where somebody threw a bottle on stage, hit Bach, and Bach got mad and threw the bottle back into the audience. Problem is, he didn't hit the right guy. He hit a girl. And then he jumped into the crowd to beat the person who can be seen on the video released in Skid Row called "Oh Say Can You Scream." He even says, Sebastian even says this is where the beginning of the end was, because that's when he got in trouble for assault. And
he didn't go to prison. He's facing 10 years and he only
right.
3 years probation.
Exactly.
They took pity on him. He must have been very remorseful in his courtroom.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw how remorseful.
I would think back then, a long hair like him, they'd want to make an example out of him.
Yes, they would. They would definitely make an example out of him. But they, then he did that. After he did that, shortly after that, Bach put on a T-shirt proclaiming the anti-gay slogan "AIDS kills fags dead," as a spoof on the insecticide Raid. Raid kills bugs dead. They didn't say in that show what that shirt said, by the way. They just said it was an anti-gay shirt. But that's what the shirt actually said. That almost killed him.
He didn't seem very remorseful.
No, not at all. And back then, though, it was a different world. People were able to do that kind of stuff and get away with it. But it was, I mean, it was just not right on any level. I mean, if you,
But it wasn't right, especially in the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry is where gays flourished
yes,
during the period where we all hated
and
them. And that's there were tons of gays on Broadway and in theater work and in movies and it just didn't fit.
right. But the thing is that
He was just ignorant. He was
you
young
know
and
what
dumb.
the interesting thing about that is that uh, the heavy metal circuit was like that, except that the people didn't know that the lead singer for Judas Priest was gay and is gay
And his game.
and was one of the best bands out there doing that music. And he came out as gay and all that years later, but I would have loved to seen him confront Bach and beat the living daylights out of him because I wouldn't mess with him. But
Well, Bach was just young and dumb. He never grew up. And
right.
I suspect even as the older version, he's not real
No.
mature either.
But I'll tell you what, he got kind of what he deserves. He don't look good anymore.
No, he doesn't. Boy, did he change. He went from idol, teenage girl idol, to what do you look like today?
Yeah, it looks like a redneck, a fat redneck.
Overweight.
I think he weighs more than I do. I just think it's funny because he didn't age well. He didn't age well at all. And I just think it's funny. But, you get what you get. And some people, I mean, he's still out there. He's still making money. So I can't really,
Yeah, he had a very interesting solo career. He was
Yeah.
on Broadway.
Yeah. He does have a voice. He does have a really, really good voice. So, it is what it is. But I just think he just did not age well. um, let's see, what other points did I see in here? I mean, they did good. They did really well with their songs, but then I think it also showed that they weren't with their one album. They weren't making money either. They put that one album out that was supposed to be a giant album, and it just didn't sell. I think it sold 500,000 or something like that, which was not at all like they were doing in the beginning. But I think people just were tired of it. I mean, they were touring with a lot of great bands. They toured with Van Halen. They toured with, they toured with them on the Balance tour, which was Sammy Hagar back around then. So it says at one point the band shifted they were going to smaller venues because they weren't doing so well on the sales of their own stuff, and they were doing well with grunge people and stuff like that. But it says here the style of heavy metal Skid Row was opening act for Van Halen on the North American leg of the Balance tour, and it says eventually Bach was fired. Big surprise there. In 1996, after an argument with Bolan, who turned down the opening slot for Kiss reunion tour, and even though Bach had already booked it, the other members told Bach that Skid Row was too big to be an opening act and that they were not going to do that show. Bach then left a message on Snake's answering machine telling them the band would never be too big to open for Kiss. That's probably true. There aren't too many bands that were bigger than Kiss. But yeah,
Well,
just.
he left a nasty message, and it was a Christmas party. And he had all those guests, and Sebastian left this nasty message. There's a rule. You never leave nasty texts, emails, or phone messages. Because you've got proof.
And people will
If you want
save
to leave
those.
a nasty message, you do it in person or over the phone.
Right.
Without a recording.
Yep.
So it's he said, she said.
That's right. Oh man, that's just crazy. I mean, it's a shame because they could have been Kiss. They could have been, if they had done the right things at the right time, they could have been any one of those bands. They could have been, because they had talented musicians.
Yes,
So
they were all very talented, and Sebastian was a great frontman. He just won everything.
way overboard. So, and the thing is, you're always going to be remembered by your vocalist. People are always going to remember, what in the world's that? Why did it open that? I didn't open that. Why are you opening that? Stop it. You're opening things that I don't know what's opening. Why are you opening that? Okay. Stop opening things. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Get back to Wikipedia. There we go. Ah, this thing has a weird thing where it opens the pages for my streaming app, and it opens more than it needs to open, and I just never figured out how to stop it from doing that. I don't know what else did we miss anything really big there?
I don't think so. I think we got it all. It's just a shame the way they ended because they could have been more.
And they could have been remembered for good things instead of bad things. I remember them because of their vocalist was really good, but was a bad example for people. He's the reason why a lot of those bands didn't make it, because they had their ego problems to deal with. And
wasn't that what we have found in all the ones we reviewed?
Pretty much, yeah. There was some ego that was one of the band, or all the band members were the ego. You know,
creative people have egos.
Yeah.
It's just, I have egos. I write those blurbs to you guys.
Yeah.
And I get very personal. I have attachments to them.
Right.
And when I don't hear back, I go, what, did they appreciate it?
Well, okay. Then let me ask you, because I don't know what to do with it. Am I supposed to?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's my ego.
Well, I thought, okay, I guess I need to explain to the people. You do personal journals, and and you send them to people, and I do read them. And I think, well, okay, what am I supposed to interact, or am I supposed to read it and put it away? And so far, I have you have a folder on my email called Doug, and I put them in that. I do it once I read them. I put them in that folder, and I didn't know if you wanted a response of any sort. If we're just supposed to read it, I didn't want to.
The answer is no. But my ego is waiting for someone to respond.
Okay.
Positively. My ego is. I'm just saying I have that same ego with my writing.
Okay.
And Patty comes in and she changes stuff. And it irritates me to no end. Because I label over my words.
Okay.
She changes stuff. That's the ego that destroys these things.
It's good you're not a musician. But you know what? But you know that you have already admitted, probably on this show, about your ego in the past, and you've admitted to me, at least in person. But I'm thinking you may have said it you've said it now on the show, so I can now use that to explain what I'm wanting to explain. I have known you for over 40 years, probably closer to 45, 46. I've known you a long time. And when I was younger, I didn't understand. I didn't think that you had the ego that you claim to have. But as I look back on our relationship, you and me, I do see it. Now that I'm older, I do see what you're talking about. And I wouldn't have thought of it as an ego when I was younger. I would have thought of it as confidence and I don't know, just
There's a fine line between confidence and ego.
Well, but I didn't know the difference then. But when I got into my ego issues, it wasn't a true ego, though, for me. For me, it wasn't an ego, but it perceived as an ego. When you're in a rock band, there's a perception that the singer is going to be the ego. It just is. It just doesn't matter. And I tried to play that role as an actor. And I wasn't an actor then, but I felt that I had owed it to the people that if you're going to hire me as your band, as you're going to, like, for instance, even now, people said when I got hired for this one band, they said, "Are you looking to join a band, or are you looking for a band to back you up?" Interesting question.
That is interesting.
So at that point in my life, I was looking because I just wanted to play. That's the only thing I want. Because after losing Ken, I had nowhere to go. I truly, truly, for the first time in my life, after being an adult, felt 100% lost. Because even when I lost Pam, I still had a job, I still had a band. So I still felt lost, but I didn't feel as lost. When I lost Ken, I lost my band. I've been in bands for 40 years, 40 plus years. And now all of a sudden I'm not able to do the one thing in life that makes me happier than anything. I love performing. I love singing. I love the feedback that when we get done with the show, when somebody would tell us, "Hey, we liked what you did," or what, that whole thing. I love that. And to me, not having that, I felt lost. I felt like there was nothing left for me. And I had to find where my happiness is. When you, I'm sure you've heard this. You have to know your why. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, you have to know why you're doing what you do.
Right. And in acting, that's one of the first questions they ask. What's your why? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I just want to play and perform and do what I got to do and write music and be creative. Well, that's my why. And but now my why is I want to keep Ken alive. I want to keep him alive in whatever I'm doing, whether it be using our music in a show or writing a show that has his name in it because I want to remember him. I want him part of it. But for me, it wasn't true ego. It was acting like you had an ego because that's what I was supposed to do. And in the band, when they asked me, "Do you want to be in a band or do you want a band to back you up?" Well, I told them the truth. I want to be in a band. I miss playing. And they said, "Well, that's good to know because a lot of people are wanting someone to back them up and have, like Mike Trish and the Barking Rats was not about me. It really wasn't. It was just the name of the band. And but in this band, like Stoneface, they kept saying, "Well, you're the oh, there he is. There's Steve from Stoneface." But a lot of people are perceiving that it is my band, and it's not my band. It's our band, and that's all it'll ever be because I'm not trying to be the star of the band. I am probably the weakest link in that band. That band has got some really powerful players. Steve is one of them, actually. And actually, every member of that band is top notch. There's no reason that band couldn't be a headliner if we had the right promotion. Not that they want to do that, but the matter of is the fact of the matter is that in that band, there's over 250 years of experience between all of us. The one guy said he was performing at 7 or 8 or whatever, and the one guy was, these guys were all playing at young ages, and they're really good. And I'm so happy to be in a band that has that caliber of talent. I thought I wouldn't find that again. I thought that my days were over as a performer. I didn't think I'd find the past couple of years. I was in a band that was going to have me replace their female singer, and when I joined the band, I had 6 songs, and that was it. And I was pared down to 3 songs. I'm like, why? She hasn't improved in the whole time I was in this band, and they never did. They never did replace her, and I ended up leaving the band, saying, this is not for me. I don't want to be in a band where I'm only going to sing 3 songs or whatever the number was that I had. And I thought, man, if that's all the better I am, I'm not going to do that. So I started jamming with these guys in Millersburg, and I started getting my confidence back. Started feeling, hey, I can do this. And then I left them for this band, and this band's so fulfilling. We just got to play out. I need to play out, because that's half. It's really fun to get these songs down, but it's even more fun to play them. And I don't care if we screw up, because live performance is not about being perfect. It's about making the people enjoy what they're listening to, and whether they dance or they sing along or whatever it is, it's getting the interaction with them. And that's the part that I missed. It was the interaction. Ken and I used to play out, and we'd play with two of us playing everything, and we'd get there and we'd get the reactions from the people, and that's what it's about. It's feeling that you actually accomplished something. And when we played our last 10 years together, we did all originals, and I was loving doing originals. But I'm also loving doing these songs that we're doing that I've never done. I've never sang Aerosmith, at least not these songs. And I'm finding that I'm able to do stuff that I never realized that I could do. And it makes me happy, especially since we're doing Deep Purple now.
So when I wrote you to this last one, I said in there that I got perturbed because someone challenged me on my preaching. Remember?
Yeah.
Pure ego.
What's that?
Pure ego. It's pure ego.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I love the interaction I get when I'm preaching with my congregation.
Sure.
I can tell by their eyes and their intensity of which they're listening to.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I get off on that.
And there's not.
When God takes it away from me, I'll be very sad.
But I don't think there's anybody that does performance, whether it be in a church, whether it be on a stage, no matter where you're at. There's a certain amount of ego that goes with that. Because if you didn't believe that you could do it, you wouldn't be doing it. If you didn't believe you were good, you wouldn't be doing it. And you don't do it just for God. You do it for yourself. There's a little bit of ego. We all have it. Now, there's an illusion.
Sebastian is he let his ego get
the illusion is that I have an ego, but Sebastian, compared to him, I got no ego. When I play, I try to entertain. That to me is better than singing. Is the entertainment, the capture of the people's imagination, trying to make them think about things, maybe, or just get them to sing along. In your case, getting the feedback that, oh, that was a great sermon. Getting the feedback that, oh, you helped me today. That makes you feel good. And for me, when I get off stage and someone says, oh, you guys are so good. It's not you were so good. You guys were so good. That's the thing I want to hear. I want to hear that they liked everything. And to me, that's more important than just me, because I personally don't consider myself all that great. I consider myself good. Some people think I'm great. Some people think I'm good. Steve said I'm doing a great job singing. Some songs I think I do great. Some songs we do like Sin City. We do it not like I don't sing it like the album. He talks it. I sing it. Some things I do like the album, but some things I think are better because I did it the way I thought I remembered it. But then when I listened to it, I said, "Oh, he doesn't really sing that. He says it." And I thought, I'm going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it because I like it the way I'm doing it. But that's ego, probably. But or maybe it's fact. Maybe because there are some things that I change when I sing it to try to sing like them because I think that I can't think of any way to do it better, and people want to hear it like the album, kind of. But if they wanted to hear the album, they'll stay at home and listen to the album. But if they want to see
people like live music.
That's right.
I enjoy live music.
And that's one thing that I want to see people do. I want to do some more things where we're not doing it note for note like the album, like Roadhouse Blues. I want to do a song where we can get the audience involved. I like sing-alongs. I like George Thorogood, where
you sing along with George.
where you have I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. That's something that the Doors did, but we can do it, stretch it out and move it on over, slide it on over. You get people singing along. They remember the band more than if you just play a song. And that's one thing that I liked about performing is that you get that instant feedback if you find out that they're just loving the band. Like the girls that just, if they don't have partners to dance with, they'll sit up there and shimmy their bodies, and they're having a good time. They want to dance with somebody, but they're still enjoying the band, and that kind of stuff is so fun and so much that I've never wanted to retire from music.
And I don't want to retire from preaching.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing, just a different topic. And speaking of that, we can move into unless we have more Skid Row.
No, I think we covered Skid Row.
Okay, well let's talk about The Chosen, because I saw the next episode of The Chosen, and this one was an episode where Jesus helped the leper and helped the man out of the stand up. The man got yeah. So trying to remember. I had some questions. I'm trying to remember what questions I had. Jesus was talking about his father, but his father was Josiah or something like that. Joseph, whatever. That's not his father.
No, it's a stepfather.
Okay.
Joseph had nothing to do with his birth except he was present. He wasn't present at the inception. He was present at the birth.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's the story that I've always.
That's the story.
That's the story I've heard.
And
yes. And whether or not that's true, it doesn't matter as much as it does that. I mean, I don't know how I would answer that if I was him and people were asking me. You can't really. I mean, you can, but you can't because the credibility end of him healing the leper. Now, so the leper thing. Do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Because the part of the thing that bothers me about this, because I do believe in God, and I do believe that a lot of things happen, but I don't believe that everything happened the way that the Bible says it happened because it was written by people. So I have a hard time with the paraplegic and with the leper and all that stuff because wasn't he supposed to be a man when he came to the earth?
He was a God man. He was 100% God and 100% man. Here's the thing. He never did anything of his own. He only did what his father told him to do. Okay. So in other words, he followed God as we're supposed to follow God. Right? We're supposed to ask God, what I want to do this. I think this is right. Do you agree with me?
Okay.
In other words, we're supposed to follow our morals and our wisdom and our experience, checking in with the Creator to make sure it's okay with Him, or are we are we overlooking something we don't know? See, He knows the end from the beginning, so there are things that we don't know. So we think we can do something right. It may not be right because there may be something else going on that we don't know about, that God does know about. So we're supposed to check in and get an okay. So here's a little cheat sheet. You say, I'll meet with you at the end of the month. I'm going to be on your show, if the Lord's willing.
Right. Okay.
But I'm making the plan.
Okay. So I got a couple.
I'm making the plan, but I'm saying if God's not willing, then I'm not going to do it. It seems not to make sense to me for it not to happen.
The thing that bothers me the most is that, okay, so like for instance, the one woman was saying about praying with too many people, and I want to pray in private, and you said that's okay, you can do that, you can go ahead and do that. But the problem is that in that day, especially, it's not like Jesus is talking to God and he gets his answers and he says, okay, that's what I'm going to do. We don't get those answers like that. It's not like he says, hey, could you go get me this? Could you do this? Could you do that? It doesn't happen like that.
I hear from God, Michael. I don't have it 100%. Jesus had it 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
I have been wrong.
We have to guess.
I have misheard God, but I do hear from Him. I believe I hear from God.
Okay.
My ego gets in the way. My opinions get in the way. My stubbornness gets in the way.
Yeah, your ego and stuff. And all
my
that.
ego gets in the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I could have easily quit the ARC.
ARC, what is that?
Over that where I preach.
Oh, okay.
The center I preach.
Okay.
I could have easily quit because I got challenged on how I preached.
Right. Well,
I was going in that direction.
And I know.
Was heading in that direction.
And I at times hear. I hope she doesn't get mad because I'm going to say it, but at times I hear Christine going through similar things like that, where she goes, I'm done with this. I'm like, well, why are you done with it? Because people challenge me. Well, okay, are you only in it for those people? Are you in it for yourself? Are you in it for other people? Why are you there? Because if you're in it for just yourself, you're in it for the wrong reason. If you're in it to help other people, then you have to reevaluate what you're talking about. And you have to reevaluate how important is this to you? How important is it to you that you be right? How important is it to you that people do exactly what you say? I mean, if you're in it, you got to evaluate why you're in it. If you're in it for pure ego, you shouldn't be in it at all. If you're in it to help and do your part as trying to help someone, knowing where the limitations are. And if they don't listen to you, that's on them. You did your part to tell them this is the right way, or this is the way I would do it, or whatever. But if you're in it just because you want to be acknowledged, you're in it for the wrong reason. And right. That's something I've learned.
That's why God didn't let me stay there.
Okay. Well, that's what I've learned over the years, that you have to determine why you're doing something. If I'm in the music for the enjoyment I get out of it, that's fine. If I'm in the music just because I want to I want other people to praise me, that's the wrong reason. And
I
I,
see, Mike, go ahead.
well, it took me years to understand that. It took me years to realize, um, why. It goes back to the why. Why am I in it? And why am I doing it? And I'm doing it for the enjoyment of I like playing music. I like when other people enjoy my music. They don't have to say I'm the best, but I like to see them dance. I like to see them clap. I like to see them enjoy the music. I didn't say enjoy me. I said enjoy the music. I want them to enjoy the music, and I like being part of that because it's something I've done all my life, and it's nice. I feel like I'm giving a gift of being able to make people dance and enjoy themselves, not make them, but to provide entertainment. And it's not because I want to be the best singer in the world. I always wanted to be the best singer in the world when I was younger because it was a fantasy of mine to be Elvis, to be David Lee Roth, to be, those aren't the best singers in the world, but they certainly made a lot of money at it. And I always wanted to be that superstar. But it's not really that for me anymore. It hasn't been for years. It's really, you got to know why you're doing it. And once you determine why you're doing it, everything becomes easier. Because if it's not ego driven, and you can sit back and enjoy that, like I can sit back and enjoy uh, the fact that I played and when the old days, I would go back and sit back and say, oh, I screwed this up and I screwed that up and I screwed this up. And now I just say, yeah, I could do that better. No, I don't beat myself up over it. I just take note of it and I'll do better next time, you know, but it's not as big of a deal as it used to be because my why is a lot different than it used to be. I used to be wanting to be the best in the world, and I wanted to tour, and I wanted to write good music and all that. I've done that. I've done the music part. I've written some really good songs. Not the best song in the world, but I think it's good. I think I've written some stuff, some good stuff. So I don't know. I think the answer that we're talking about, you talking about your sermons and all that. I think it all has to do with the why and why are you doing it? What do you expect to get out of it? And for me, it's not really a matter. Well, it's just to me, it's not a matter of. It's never been a matter of compensation because you can't make a ton of money in the local circuit, and even as we saw with Skid Row,
you can't make money even on the big circuit.
Right, unless you were that smart person that knows the business and have people looking out for you.
How many bands have we seen where people are broke?
Right, exactly. And there are lots of bands that are broke. And when I see them, I like, how could you be broke? You made, these platinum albums and you just, how could you not be, wealthy? But wealth is just, wealth can be determined by not just money. Wealth could be, everything you dealt with, your life and all that. That's to me, that's the wealthiest person is the person that can live day to day and not be worried about things and just be able to take things a step at a time. And if people could just realize that it's not about accumulating things, and it's not really about money, it's about survival and how you survive and how you work with other people and how you deal with problems and yeah, I think that was the key to happiness. Once I found that key, I opened that door, and it really changed my life a lot. So uh, it's not like I had to live with a name like Rachel all my life. That poor guy. Anyway,
Hey, what did you think about people would just stop what they were doing and follow Jesus?
see, I'm curious as to how realistic that was, how it was really then. You know, I mean, there were people. I actually, no, I have two thoughts on that. The first one is that I just said, was it realistically like that? We don't know. We weren't there. We can only go by what is written. But then the other part is, in that day and age, when you're being persecuted, you're being beat up by the tax guy, you're getting beat up by the people that were controlling the government. I would be looking for some glimmer of hope somewhere.
And that's what they saw in Jesus.
And that's what I was thinking about. Because my first thought was, why are all these people drawn to him? Because they don't know who he is, but they're looking for someone, and they're really trying to find that way, trying to find the correct way, the thing that's not going to abuse them so badly. Like those people didn't care. The Romans didn't care about them. They only wanted their money. They wanted their power.
And they wanted peace and calm.
Right.
And they wanted their tax dollars.
Yes. And every person there, I mean, the Jewish people have been persecuted the whole time they've been on this planet. And so the idea of it was, I found it interesting also that that they were going to arrest Jesus for speaking.
For causing, I can't think of the word right now, but causing a problem with unlawful assembly.
Yes.
Too many people assembling at once.
Yes.
Could be a problem for Rome.
But even if it was him and three other people,
breaking the peace. That's what the Pharisees screamed.
Yeah, and yet all he ever did was just talk about logical things about, things that they could have figured out if they just sat down and did what we're doing now and just said, hey, yeah, that would be good, and because he never said anything drastic. He never said go after the Romans, destroy the Romans. He never said any of that. He did everything with peace.
He said, give me a coin. Well, whose picture's on this coin?
Right.
It's Caesar.
Right.
So he said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God what is God's.
Right.
So he never said stop paying taxes.
Right. But I think it's interesting that they had tax systems way back then too. that to me is very sad.
Unfair tax.
Yes, well, there's always unfair taxes. Whenever we have taxes, they're unfair. I've never seen a fair tax thing, so that's just me. But I don't know. I found the whole thing very interesting overall. I found it. I'm actually anxious to see where it goes from here. I mean, so far beyond the first episode, the rest have been interesting to me.
First episode was a failure.
It was, well, I mean, it established the characters. So it wasn't. It's kind of.
Everybody says that you got to get past the first episode.
Yeah, and I was about to give up on the first episode because it was really hard to deal with that first episode. But to be honest with you, I think overall that it was a good stepping stone, because now I understand why they did it that way. I think this Jesus character has a lot of legs. I think we're going to be. I'm interested to see where he goes from here. I think he's got a lot of things to accomplish in his lifetime. So sad that it's going to be a short lifetime, but
Yes.
But
he changed the world in 3 years.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is that.
I mean, there's over 2 billion Christians in this world.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have hospitals, we wouldn't have social service agencies, we wouldn't have orphanages, we wouldn't have an education system if it wasn't for Christians. Christians started all of that stuff. The impact, the good impact in the world of Christianity, aside from the religious part, forget the individual religious part, just the effect on society has been overwhelming. His 3 years changed the world.
Well, I think it's interesting. I'm glad I've stuck with it. It's been
Yeah, and I'm glad I'm sticking with the breaking of the band because I'm learning so much
well after we run out.
about these bands that I know.
Yeah, and some of these you don't know. Some of these you won't know. But when we're done with that, there is another uh, segment of stuff that we can watch that's music related that could be a
Okay.
replacement for it. So I wish they'd put
Well,
those other
hopefully,
two.
hopefully they put the first two seasons.
That the other 2 seasons were good. I mean, I'm bummed that they took them off because they were really really good. And, they're I've learned so much about like I saw every one of them, and I even the bands or people that I didn't necessarily listen to a lot. I learned a lot about that. That's a good series. I do hope they put the other two back on. And if they don't, well, there are other places, other things we can watch that'll be similar. Um, Even if we went to like YouTube videos of bands that did things, there are lots of stuff that we can look after. So, but yeah, it's really really good. I think they're
Well, we've got some bands left.
yeah.
This isn't over right now.
No, I don't even.
I picked the bands that I knew and liked first.
Yeah.
Now I'm on some bands that weren't my cup of tea.
All right. What else we got? What do you got?
Well, you know about these riots?
Yeah, what's going? Man, this is crazy stuff.
It is crazy stuff. What's going on is that Trump sent in the National Guard. Okay, ICE went into LA. LA
Yes.
is a hotbed of rebellion
Yes.
against ICE. And they sent in, there was riots.
Yes.
It was protests. There weren't riots yet, there were protests. But they were starting to get ugly.
Okay.
Burning cars,
Yes.
stopping traffic, looting, physical abuse of ICE agents. And so Newsom, the governor of California, would not send in the National Guard. So Trump sent them in. Here's the problem. He doesn't, he has the authority to send them in, and it's strict authority. And this is U.S. Code 12406. There are 3 reasons why the President of the United States can take charge of the National Guard. Only 3. Invasion of a foreign entity, rebellion among the people, and martial law.
Okay.
Okay? The National Guard belongs to governors,
Okay.
not to the. Now the governor can ask the president for help with the National Guard. What that means is that the federal government is going to pay for it.
Okay.
So the request comes for a change in who's going to pay for it. Okay.
Okay.
So is there an invasion? Here's Trump's problem. Is there an invasion of a foreign enemy? He claims there is.
Okay.
Courts may not agree with that. Is there a rebellion, or is it just protest with some bad actors in the midst?
Okay.
Or is it rebellion? Is it lawless? Same thing. Is it bad actors where you have to follow martial law because the people cannot be controlled by police? Is that what's happening?
Right.
See, this is going to court
Okay.
because the authority to send in the National Guard resides with the governor, not with the president.
Okay.
Except in those 3 instances. Trump's claiming it's all 3. It's invasion, rebellion, and lawlessness. And that he has the right to send them in. Well, the courts are going to decide.
Well, I
You
know.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is going to court, and it's probably going to go all the way to the Supreme Court.
I think that. Well, I'm thinking that. He's stretching his power much
authority.
further.
He's pushing the boundaries of presidential authority
Yes,
more than any other president has ever done,
yes,
except for Abraham Lincoln. But he was in wartime, with the country being torn in half.
right.
There's an excuse. Trump is saying, I have a similar excuse because 14 million people has invaded our country unlawfully. So I should have the authority to do what it takes to change that.
And no one else seems to want to do that
No,
for
it's
whatever
him
reason.
and the MAGA people.
Right.
The rest of the country is uneasy with this. When they're getting the child molesters, the illegal alien child molester off the street, no, everybody's okay. But when they're going after breaking up families of tax-paying illegal immigrants,
Right.
and they're taking Papa away, or they're taking Mama away from the kids, that changes the dynamic.
And I thought there was something, and this shows my ignorance. This something that if you came to this country and married someone, that you would be able to stay.
Yes, after a while. It's
Yeah.
a problem though, because I have a friend right now that was trying to get this girl across from England, and you have to have so much money, you have to have a profession, you have to have, there's a lot of criteria to come into the country and bring somebody in to marry them. Right?
Well, I had a friend that actually married a girl out of Nigeria. He said it cost him, I don't even know how much, but it was a lot of money. And he didn't have a lot of money. It was probably 20 grand or more.
Yeah, that's about it. I think it was 25 grand my friend had to have in his pocket, right, to bring her over here.
Wow.
It costs money.
It cost him one used Tesla.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the Tesla.
Yeah.
Get more mileage out of that. Because, this guy was an awful person. I mean, and this woman that he got was gorgeous. She was a gorgeous Nigerian woman, and she was a school teacher. She was very smart. She was very intelligent, very, very beautiful, and he treated her like garbage. Now she's in Texas somewhere, and I think she's going to marry somebody down there. But she only, yeah, well, she left him because he treated her so bad. And, well, probably that was one, but the other reason is maybe she just wanted to get over here, however she got over here. It's hard to say, but the fact of the matter was that if he treated her better, she may still be with him. But he's a horrible person, and I've known him for a while, and it just was funny. He saw me the other week because his mother's in a nursing home, and I went to see his mother because I consider her one of my second mothers because she's Ken's mom, and I went to see her because she's always treated me well. And he showed up that night or that day, and I was shocked to see him because he was always such an idiot. It's his stepmom, not his original mom, and I was surprised to see him there. But he was there, but he forgot who I was, and I was surprised that he forgot who I was. There's an ego problem. I was surprised that he forgot who I was, but he didn't recognize me, probably because I lost a lot of weight since I saw him last. But yeah, I don't know. I have various opinions on the whole mess. I mean, there's 12 countries that can't visit the U.S. Trump says we don't want them.
Now, because they're lawless, you don't know who you get.
Well, yeah. I was just going to ask you if you knew who any of the countries were.
There's legitimate reasons for those 12 countries. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I have a problem with Trump pushing the boundaries
Yes.
of presidential authority. But there's a good thing in this. The Supreme Court's going to have to decide once and for all what presidents can do and what they can't do.
Okay. Well, here's a list of countries.
Trump's going to force this issue.
Okay. Here's the list of countries that have full restrictions. Afghanistan, Big surprise. Myanmar, is that what it is? Myanmar, okay. Chad, the Republic of Congo, Ecuadorian Guinea. I never even heard of this one. Eritrea.
I don't know about that one.
Oh no, not Eritrea. It's Eritrea. Eritrea. Haiti, Iran so far away. Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. I don't have any problems with any of those countries being restricted because there's terrorism in all of those that are pretty bad.
And there's lawlessness in all of them.
Yeah.
Most of them. There's lawlessness. You
Yeah.
don't know who you go.
Now, 7 more countries are partially restricted. And that would be Burundi. I don't even know where that is. Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, which isn't that in Africa too?
Yeah, I believe.
Togo,
I'm not sure.
Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. I think they ought to put Brazil on that list and put who's the other country that stole from me? Brazil should be on that list, and
White Trump, you want them, you'll put it on.
Yeah. Well, now why isn't oh shoot, what is it? Not Vietnam, South North
Korea.
North Korea, yeah. Why isn't that on?
Because if someone escapes, they won't take them.
Really? Huh. Okay. I just found it.
They restrict. You don't have to. They restrict their people from leaving.
Okay.
We don't have to restrict them.
Okay.
That's why North Korea is not on the list.
Okay. I was surprised that they were not on that list because I thought that they would have been pretty close to one of the countries that we would actually get rid of, that we would be happy to get rid of. Yeah. All right. Then there was. Wait a minute. Hold on here. I got something else that. Shoot, where'd it go? There it is. Oh, we should probably talk about the Boulder, Colorado thing. Did we talk about that last week?
No.
Okay. So a suspect was arrested following a Sunday attack in Boulder, Colorado. He'll face hate crimes. Personally, they should just kill him. I mean, this guy went after people with Molotov cocktails. He made a flamethrower of his own. He left 12 people injured. The suspect was also charged with multiple counts of attempted first-degree murder after deliberation and attempted first-degree murder with extreme indifference. Mohammed Sabri Solomon, wonder what country he's from, allegedly targeted a local Run for Their Lives event, a weekly demonstration held in cities around the world to advocate the release of Israeli hostages still held in Hamas in Gaza. According to accounts, he threw 2 handmade firebombs into a crowd before approaching a weed sprayer filled with flammable gas. Man, for anyone that does something like this, I would just say, okay, tie him up and let's use his flamethrower on him. Let him feel what he did to someone else. And keep him alive. Keep him alive just long enough that he can be pain. You know, we're so worried about people's rights. But when it comes to something like this, where this person clearly attacked everybody's rights, he has no rights.
And said, I will do it again.
Yeah, yeah. So personally, let's let him do it again to himself. Let's put him on a stake, and let's just fry him up and let him. You know, I just really hate the fact that there are people out there like that. There are people that I don't have a great fondness for. There just are. Everybody has somebody they just don't get along with. But it's not any nationality. It's not, it's just certain people that have treated me bad in the past. And I wouldn't ever go after them to kill them. And I've been treated fairly bad, but not like these people. These people are, other countries, man, those people are just unbelievable.
They killed him. He did this just because they were Jews.
And there's no reason people like that should even be alive. If you hate people that bad, and when I hate somebody, I just stay away from them. But, just stupid. Hey, keep it down. But, I just...
that's why I support Israel so much.
What's that?
That's why I support Israel so much, because they're fighting for their existence. Does Israel always do everything right? No.
But who does?
No, they make mistakes. I'm not so sure they're doing the right thing in Gaza right now.
Right.
But I support Israel.
Right.
Because, like you said earlier, they've been hated
forever.
Forever.
Forever. It's so weird. It's so weird. All right. How about something a little lighter?
Yes.
I got something for you. I don't know that to be the case, what I'm about to say. So don't take offense by what I'm saying. Did you know that Ozempic has some very good benefits?
Yes.
Not weight loss. Ones?
No.
You're going to like this. I wish somebody would have told genitalia after. It's a miracle drug that promised to shrink your size everywhere but where it matters. Male Ozempic users say their penises have gotten bigger since they started injecting the weight loss shot, with dozens of well-endowed fellas flocking to online forums to fund their expanded members. I recently measured myself down there, and I noticed I gained a 1 inch. And anonymous user claimed that on Reddit. Now, I think people will say because of the fat loss. However, at the time I measured myself before, 4 years ago, I was thinner. And I bone pressed the measurement before, and also this time. Has anyone else noticed this change? It's a picture of a guy measuring a banana. His banana got bigger too, I guess. And this guy's here using a little magnifying glass. But I just thought it was funny. Yet another happy Redditor responded, I gained 1.5 inches in length. No joke. Like you, I obviously know how long it was before I got very fat. Then after 7 months on Thais, whatever it was, in that case, I gained 1.5 inches in length, and definitely not all from weight loss. I noticed that it happened to me as well, a third man said. Yeah, wife has definitely noticed a difference. Was 278 down to 200, an additional commenter said. Meanwhile, other people claimed that they had noticed a size difference after taking Ozempic, and put it down to better blood flow and reduced fat around the pubic area. And so if you are looking to, get a little something, something better than you have, you can get another little something with Ozempic. Oh man! Sometimes I think that the articles are.
God has a sense of humor.
Yeah, I would think so. Then I have this is so weird. A Walmart customer calls cops after his self-checkout avocado mishap charged him $1,300. So you're at Walmart and you're at the self-checkout and you're the one that screwed it up. You're calling the cops saying you're getting screwed here. I think you need some Ozempic.
I need
But
something because it's self-checkout. The only problem is you.
yeah, well, a Walmart customer claimed a customer called the police after, I'm sorry, employee claimed a customer called the police after he, the customer, accidentally overcharged himself for avocados at the self-checkout kiosk, then accused the store of robbing him. The unusual incident was documented on the Reddit page dedicated to all things Walmart. User Lore Activist wrote about the confrontation, prompting others to share their own self-checkout interactions. As Laura Activist told the story, a man came up with a bunch of I better hold on here. A bunch of stuff and claimed an item on the shelf was priced at $9.99 was showing up at $19.99. The Redditor said the Walmart team leader was able to get it fixed for the man. However, it happened again with item after item that couldn't be changed. Then he had avocados. He accidentally hit $9.99 instead of the $9 he intended, and his total jumped over $1,500. So, see, that's why you never buy avocados. Then he freaked out and started yelling before stating that he was calling the cops because Walmart was robbing him. The customer called 911 and the police showed up, and as the thread was documented, the dude creates the whole circus, then shows everyone his self-checkout screen, again claiming Walmart's robbing him. Walmart employees tried to appease the customer, but he still wouldn't shut up. The customer was warned that he needed to leave or be arrested for trespassing, but the man refused to go unless Walmart compensated him for pain and suffering and distress. Just think, if he got that, think what I get with my claims to Xfinity. The customer also warned that eventually his own cops that he called put him in handcuffs and took him outside. Let's see here. So several Redditors revealed how they handled similar situations. My go-to response is, would you like to use our phone for that? Never had any actually take him up on that. But the user he just put in, instead of 9, he put in $9.99 and thought that he could sue Walmart for something like that. That's just ridiculous. And this one is just weird. Did you know there are certain names that are banned as baby names in the U.S.?
No.
There are actually names that you cannot name someone. Do you want to guess any?
Baby Santa.
Well, Baby Santa is one, yeah. But it gets worse. Here's some of the names. Issues in the United States are names which are names with unusual pronunciations. These names include anything from Pikachu to Nike. But Japan isn't the only country to have restrictions. For instance, it can vary from state to state. In California, names listed on the birth certificates can only contain 26 letters in the English alphabet. That leaves out letters and accents, like if you have the little dinger over the A or the E. Tides like over the M, the little Spanish and over the A, and umlauts, like 2 dots over the O and the U. State Assembly woman Blanco Paquicho said that they introduced legislation to change that policy in December 2024. Other names, stop it, doggone it. Other names, you can't name someone king. You can't name him queen. You can't name
Queen Latifah.
Well, apparently you can't get that on your birth certificate. You can't name him Jesus Christ. You can't name it, I don't know if that's III or LLL. You can't name him Santa. You can't name him the @ sign. Can't name him 1069. I don't know why 1069.
That must mean something American.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that means.
I can guess the second half.
Yeah,
What the first half means.
I don't quite understand. Then we got okay, where's my mouse? Come on, mouse, do something here. Hello. Why is my mouse not working? Why is my mouse working over there? Hold on. Something happened here. Why is my mouse? What is going on here? Well, that's really weird. Okay, yeah. Okay, we got it. Here we go. I know. This will be the last one. There are 40 names from New Zealand that were requested and rejected in 2024. The majority resemble a title or rank such as king, which was requested and denied 11 times. Prince and princess were also requested, in addition to alternative spellings of princess with a Y or prince with a Y. Names ties with marijuana were also rejected. Sativa and indica were also two popular strains which were requested and rejected.
They want to name their kid after a marijuana strain.
I'm sure there are plenty of weird people that would like that. Yeah. Here's some more. Morocco, you can't be Sarah. I don't know why. You can't be RoboCop in Mexico. Why would you name your kid RoboCop? Yeah. In Germany you can't. Yeah. Metallica in Sweden. Why is it only Sweden? Yeah. 007 in Malaysia. Here's the best one, Sweden. Look at this one. BRFXXCC XXMN. How would you pronounce that? You can't name anybody Prince William if you're in France. In China, you can't name someone Curran or Curran. What is it? Curran? Curran. Judas in Switzerland. Devil in Japan. Blue in Italy. What's this world coming to?
I never thought of that.
What's that?
There's actually baby named Police.
What's that?
There's actually baby named Police.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask my AI what this means because I don't have any idea.
Ask number 1069.
Yeah, that one's another one I want to check on too because I had never heard any of that stuff, but apparently there's something with it that So, all right. Well, I guess that would be that's about it without getting in any major stuff. We got started late, but we still ended up going the full time.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird though because we lost YouTube, we lost we couldn't get the stupid Facebook to work at first. So I don't know. Oh, 007 in Malaysia. I wonder if that has to do with the Malaysian flight that went down. I don't know. Anyway, I like the Devil in Japan. That's pretty interesting. I want to write a song called Devil in Japan. I don't know what it's about, but, apparently they have issues with it. I love when I find little articles like that. All right. Well, I guess this is a good time to let it ride. Here's the outro. I will talk to you next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my thing at?
The field stethoscope can help you hear more and your vitamins better.
Where are you at?
I didn't know.
Sound get a ding of some sort. That's all we need. All right, let's see here. All right, try this again. All right, I will talk to you guys next week and have a good week and try not to get scammed. That's what I got to say. Okay, now we're not playing. Come on, play. Come on, play. Hello. All right, we'll see you next week.